Greetings, coach. Welcome to my planet, Planet Saturn. I hope you enjoy your visit. I will be able to guide you around the topics of responsibility and ambition. I hope you can learn something new and take away to reflect on your coaching.
Here we go. Welcome to Planet Saturn, where we're going to look at the coaching factors or topics of responsibility and ambition. So I'm here with Dom. Dom comes to university with me. He's been living on Planet Saturn for quite a while, so he knows quite a lot of responsibilities and ambitions. So we're going to start off. I'm going to learn a bit of him. We're just going to talk about responsibility. So to start off with, Dom, do you want to just tell us what you've coaching experience had? And
yeah, definitely. So my sport is football. I've been in football now for probably 12, 13 years. So in terms of my experience with that, I've had experience both on the pitch, in terms of playing a lot of that, and then off the pitch, being on the sidelines as coaching as well. So I've not got a lot of experience really. So I've spent the past year with a team called Ashley and Buckshaw under 11s, Whites, and then previous to that, spent about 6 months in a similar role doing community work with Preston North End's Community and Education Trust, where I was doing helping out with the Premier League Kicks programme in a local area.
Yep, nice. Right. Look at his responsibility, and the first type of question we're going to ask is: do you feel responsible when you are coaching? Like, what type of responsibilities do you think you have as a coach?
Well, first of all, the actual coaching itself requires responsibility. In terms of, organising a venue, organising a team, organising a session. So there straight away you've got three really important responsibilities. As well, when the session's underway, you've got responsibility in terms of ensuring safety of the players. Parent responsibility as well. A lot of coaches tend to pick up children to help out with parents. So even just to begin with there, before the session started, you've got so many responsibilities. And as well, in terms of the actual session itself, most of the time, as the coach, you will plan that session. You will be responsible for deciding what's going to be the topic of the session. Yeah. So even just, I missed out so many things there, but I mean, just to begin with.
I think there is a lot of responsibility, especially like you look at a coach and you think all he has to do is do some session for an hour, but before you actually just look behind that or look further ahead of that, it's so much more than just doing a 60-minute session. Yeah, like you said, with the parents and all that. Right, then we'll go on to the next little topic. So, do you feel you have any extra responsibilities outside? I mean, we've already touched on them, but do you feel like there's any really important responsibilities outside of your coach, outside of your coaching team when you're coaching?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that I was thinking of but didn't say for the last question was something such as like a group chat. In that comes the responsibility of getting everyone's number to get into the group chat, and then also arranging fixtures, arranging a home venue, arranging transport for everyone. So even just outside the actual process of delivering a session or being there on a match day, you've got so many responsibilities.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think because we're both involved in some sort of grassroots football, as a grassroots football coach, I think they kind of have more responsibilities than maybe a Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola, where they have different people to sort those other responsibilities out. Yeah,
definitely. And especially when most of the time grassroots means children. They're not responsible for themselves at the ages of 11 in my instance. A lot of the time you've got to rely on parents or guardians to get you to matches unless like you live around the corner or whatever. So
yeah, lots of stuff to take into consideration. I think as a coach, maybe not as even if they've just got the level 1 or 2 badge, just as important responsibility as ones with the highest badges.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, we'll go on to then ambition. So, whilst coaching, do you feel as if you're ambitious?
I would say in terms of the sessions that me and the main coach plan, not really. It's more so like realistic sessions. Like if I was going to be ambitious, then I'd like make the sessions dead like eccentric, if you will, in terms of making it a lot of work for the players and a lot of difficulty. And whilst it might look good in terms of planning, it might not necessarily be effective. That's like half of the way that I see ambition. The other way that I see ambition is in terms of in the future. So like while I might feel ambitious with sessions that I'm actually delivering in terms of making them dead like crazy and loads of cones and gates and stuff like that. For me, I also see ambition as being something that I look to the future for. So like, it's my ambition to be able to just say in a few years have a book of sessions and being able to look through them and plan using that. Like that's kind of like a goal, if you will.
I think that's a good goal to have, because then you can look back at your coaching and see your sessions you've done, and you can maybe pass that down to future people that are coming to wanting to be a coach as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think my ambitions when coaching, like I say, it's similar to you. You got on the field, and then for the future, what ambitions you got? I think as a coach, when you're doing your sessions, you always want to be ambitious to make the best session possible, but you've got to be careful that you're not too, like you said, what was the word? Eccentric, was it?
Yeah, eccentric. Yeah.
You don't want to be too complex everything, because you want the kids or players to understand what's going on, but at the same time you want some complexity so they can have a bit of fun. I agree with you with the making a little book. That'll be definitely something good to make in the future. And then next question, you've already touched on it a little bit, but pretty much what are our ambitions as coaches, or your ambition as a coach? Will it just be the book?
Well, yeah, the book would be like a nice thing to have, like especially when I was doing my level 1. The person who was delivering it was it's called Pete Wild. I think he's manager now with, I can't remember. I think it's like a team in National League. But he was saying how like for everything he has like a book.
Yeah.
So he has like loads of books about like with sessions featuring like surrounding, defending and attacking, and then team building, stuff like that. That's something that I think would definitely benefit me in the future. As well, just kind of building on what I'm currently doing. Whether that's, progressing into different age groups, so I might look at 16s or I might look at 18s or 21s or something like that. That might be something that I move towards in the future.
Good. No, I think that's definitely something similar with me, where I just want to expand my different age groups that I coach, because at the moment it's just very much under 10s or below, really. So if I can get to under 18s, it'll be open age. But I think that just comes with time. If anything, you'll expand yourself as you venture to new places.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Right, that is the questions done. But I'm going to leave with one last question that I'm going to do on every planet. So one thing that you've taken from sport, it could be this week or just recently, whether last week, the week before, that you just think it stood out to you and you thought about it. So it could be anything about sport.
One thing I would definitely say is almost pride, but coming with that responsibility. Like when we're doing this interview now, we're like currently in football, it's the international break, and recently teams have been doing playoff matches to qualify for Euro 2021. And just seeing what it means to players and members of the coaching staff to qualify for like the tournaments is crazy, knowing that like they've got the responsibility of like a nation behind them. Like with recently, I think it was David Marshall who's in net for Scotland when he saved Mitrovic's penalty to send them to Euro 21. It's just like crazy, just like seeing how like amazed that they were and how proud that they were of each other and everything. And like Scotland's like a pretty small country in the grand scheme of things, but one of the like biggest things in Scotland that bring people together is football. So to see them qualify for the first like major tournament since what is it, like World Cup '98, I think it was, is just it's like insane.
I think it goes with any, like, football is a really big sport, and I think through this pandemic it's signified how big football can be. Like, just as you say, Scotland's not a very big country and football's a big part of it, but the fact that we now all focusing on football shows how significant it is for just fans watching, for players, for coaches.
Especially with like when it was the first like major lockdown, like professional sport was one of the like major things that people were missing out on. And like straight away the Bundesliga, well, not straight away, but like when the Bundesliga came back, like that had massive coverage over on BT, and then every single game from the remaining rounds of the Premier League was shown. Just because, you know, people had that massive demand for it, didn't they?
Awesome, right. That's all the questions done, so we can leave planet Saturn now. Go on out, planet. Awesome, right.
See you later then.
Awesome, right, I'll stop recording. Responsibility can come in lots of shapes and forms. Here on planet Saturn, we think that sport is important to many young people, and regular participation has clear benefits across a number of domains, including physical, psychological, intellectual and social health. This is from Danish, Fourniers and Wallace in 2005. Therefore, coaches have great potential to assist mental health promotion and encourage early response to mental health concerns in young people. This is from Mazza and Rickwood in 2014. Ultimately, a coach can affect a player much more than just improving their technical skills. Following on from responsibility, ambition is looked at whilst coaching. Magiu and Valerand in 2003 said that coaches feel the pressure to achieve a winning result. Similar to responsibility of a sports coach, ambition can come in lots of different forms. At elite level, sport environments are dynamic and unpredictable, and coaches face the pressure of being held accountable, with their work being intense and continuous examination by fans and the media. This is from Ryan, Mallet and Tinnin in 2006. Ryan, Mallet and Tinnin further reinforces the significance that ambition is different for lots of different sports coaches. At an elite level, ambition might be to sustain your current position. However, at a developmental level of ability, the ambition might become external and more towards the progression of players. So what can I apply to my learning after learning all about ambition and responsibility, planet Saturn? Well, firstly, I find myself wanting to be a caring coach. One of the main reasons for coaching I have found in the past couple of years, is that I can make a difference to others when they play the game. Moreover to this, I like to coach because I like the responsibility of leading the session. Whether I lead a good session or a bad session, the idea of being in charge is brought to my attention. Recently, with the idea of being a lead coach at Little Kickers, I do love the responsibility of having the session and understanding and knowing that I'm in charge of what happens and when it happens. Taken away from planet Saturn of ambition and responsibility, to be ambitious doesn't mean to always have the biggest dreams and goals. It can be on a micro level. Affecting that one person on a one-to-one basis can be just as ambitious as making it to a pro level, and I really think this signifies my own coaching. So what have I learned about the video footage from Planet Saturn? Well, after speaking with Dom on Planet Saturn, he really enlightened me to what about ambition and responsibility in a football coach. So firstly, he said that coaching requires responsibility. It comes in team, game or the session types of responsibility. And for the team, he said that you might have a responsibility of dealing with the parents, whichever sport that it is you are in. For the game, it might be the safety of the players. In overall, there's lots of types of responsibilities in these 3 different sections, and there's too many to name. It will take far too long. Also, we've got the responsibility of the type of session and the topic of the session that you're going to produce. As a coach, you need to plan the session, similar to the plan, do, review that we looked at on the last planet. You need to decide what the session is, so it's going to be fun and enjoyable for the players. And this is definitely the case currently this past year. I've had a team with Exton Villa, I've had to deal with parents, I've had the responsibility of giving them information, I've had the responsibility of dealing with the safety of the players, making sure that the risk assessments are completed, making sure they have a fun environment place to play football. And then from the video footage, Dom also spoke about ambition. So, for a football coach or a sports coach, sessions can be eccentric, but they might not look good. They might look good, but they might not be effective, and this is the case of being ambitious. So I think he was saying that you can be far too ambitious sometimes with these overcomplicated plans, and actually the more simple plans work effectively. However, saying this, sports coaches, Dom referred to as in the future, creative sessions, you can look to the future and be ambitious to have a book of sessions, but it's just to be mindful that 2 creative sessions might actually be too complicated for your players to understand, dependent on the age you are coaching. And he referred to a really good idea that he's got, where a coach has a little book of sessions. This might be attacking or defending, and it's building on what I'm doing currently, and it's something that I'm going to take into my coaching going forward. I'm going to have a little book, and whenever I've got a key idea, I can pop it into there and then look back at it for future reference.